Ever wonder what happens when a power-hungry HOA president picks a fight with a disabled veteran and his SPITS dog in front of a crowd armed with smartphones? Let me take you back to a sunny Saturday morning at the Meadow View Estates Farmers Market, where a single spit changed everything. My name's Jack Thompson, and I never imagined my quiet outing with my SPITS dog, Titan, would turn into a VYRL showdown. But when you're dealing with someone like Susan Hargrove, the HOA dictator who ruled our suburban neighborhood like her personal kingdom, anything's possible. I was sifting through crates of fresh tomatoes, Titan resting calmly at my feet. He's a sleek German shepherd, trained to help me manage my PTSD after 4 tours in Iraq. His SPITS vest is impossible to miss, bright red with bold white letters spelling out "Service Dog." Most folks at the market gave us warm smiles, but not Susan. I spotted her across the stalls, clutching her clipboard like a weapon, probably hunting for rule breakers to shame in her next HOA newsletter. Susan had been a nightmare since she took over as HOA president 3 years ago. She'd fine you for a mailbox leaning half an inch off center or lecture you if your kids' bikes were parked too close to the sidewalk. Meadow View Estates was her empire, and she was the queen. When her eyes locked onto Titan, I braced myself. Her lips curled into that signature scowl that had bullied half the neighborhood into submission. She stormed over, her high heels stabbing the pavement, parting shoppers like the Red Sea. "Excuse me," she said, her voice syrupy sweet but sharp enough to cut glass. "Animals aren't allowed at community events. You need to leave. Now." Her words were loud, meant to draw eyes. I kept my cool-eyed face this before. "Good morning, Susan," I said evenly. "Titan's a SPITS animal, protected under the Americans with Disabilities Act. He's allowed here." Her eyes raked over me, sizing me up like I was some con artist. "You don't look so disabled," she sneered, while VYing a manicured hand. "Everyone's buying those fake vests online. I have severe allergies, and your dog's a health hazard." By now, a crowd was forming, phones discreetly raised. I felt my pulse quicken, but Titan sensed it and leaned against my leg, grounding me like he's trained to do. I took a slow breath. "I'm a disabled veteran," I said quietly. "Titan helps with my PTSD. His credentials are legit, and he's not bothering anyone." Susan's face turned beet red. "PTSD? Please," she scoffed, making air quotes with her fingers. "You're just milking that veteran card for attention. I'm sick of people like you acting entitled." The crowd grew thicker, and I noticed more phones out, but Susan was too wrapped up in her rant to care. A vendor, a kind woman selling homemade jams, stepped in. "Ma'am, SPITS animals are welcome here," she said politely. "It's federal law." Susan whirled on her, jabbing a finger. "I'm the president of Meadow View Estates HOA, and this market's on our property. I decide what's allowed." The vendor blinked unfazed. "Actually, this is city property. We've got a permit right here." She pulled a document from under her table. That set Susan off like a match to gasoline. Her face twisted with fury as she spun back to me. "You think you're so special with your so-called military SPITS and that mangy mutt? People like you are dragging this community down." Titan stayed rock steady at my feet, his calm only making her angrier. She stepped closer, so close I could smell her perfume. "That dog doesn't belong here," she hissed. "And neither do you." I met her gaze. "Susan, I get that you're upset, but I have every right to be here with my SPITS animal. If you keep harassing me, I'll report it." What happened next sucked the air out of the market. Susan's eyes blazed, and she leaned forward not at me, but at Titan and saw SPITS. The glob hit his vest, right on the service dog patch, as she snarled, "Get and keep that filthy beast out of my sight!" Gasps rippled through the crowd. Titan didn't flinch, though I felt him tremble slightly. Rage surged in me, cold and sharp, but my military training kicked in. I stayed steady. "You just assaulted a SPITS animal," I said, my voice low but firm. That's a crime. Susan faltered for a split second, then doubled down. He lunged at me. I was defending myself. You all saw it. She scanned the crowd for backup, but all she got were glares. A woman stepped forward, phone in hand. I've got the whole thing on video, she said. That dog didn't move. Another voice piped up. I called 911. Cops are coming. Susan's face went pale, her confidence cracking like thin ice. You can't be serious, she stammered. It's just a dog. I'm the Timmy allergies. I knelt to check on Titan, wiping the spit off his vest as sirens wailed in the distance. Susan straightened her blouse, trying to play it cool. This is a misunderstanding, she announced, loud enough for everyone to hear. I asked this man to control his animal, and he got aggressive. But the crowd wasn't buying it. 2 cops pushed through, and before Susan could spin her tale, people handed over their phones, showing videos from every angle. Officers, I'd like to press charges, I said calmly. She spat on my CRVYC animal after harassing me about my disability. The female officer nodded. Ma'am, we need to talk, she told Susan. We've got video denke of an incident with a CRVYC animal. Susan's jaw dropped. Do you know who I am? I'm the Meadow VYEW Estates HOA president. This is outrageous. The officer didn't blink. Interfering with a CRVYC animal is serious. Step over here. As the cop laid out the charges: assault on a CRVYC animal, disorderly conduct, harassment. Susan's bravado crumbled. You can't arrest me, she shrieked as handcuffs clicked on. I have a board meeting Monday. The officer was unmoved. You have the right to remain silent. Susan kept ranting as they led her to the squad car. This is a setup. That's not a real CRVYC dog. He's faking his disability. Nobody backed her up. Instead, neighbors I knew from Meadow VYEW came over, offering apologies. She's been a tyrant forever, one older guy muttered. Maybe this'll end it. The market settled down, and a market official brought me water and a bowl for Titan. Your dog's always welcome, she said. 3 days later, I got word Susan was charged with assault on a CRVYC animal, a misdemeanor with up to a year in jail, and due law $4,000 in fines plus disorderly conduct and harassment of a protected class. The videos had exploded online, racking up millions of views. Veteran groups shared the story, and Susan's real estate firm, big on community values, put her on leave. The HOA board held an emergency meeting and booted her as president, no debate. Word is, when Susan got the news, she just sat there, stunned, muttering, But I built this place. That day at the market wasn't just about one woman's meltdown. It was about a community fed up with her reign, a dog who stayed stronger than her hate, and a crowd that refused to stay silent. Titan and I? We're still regulars at the market, and every time we go, someone new stops to say thanks for standing up, for fighting back, for showing what happens when you cross the line.